Hi there, this is the third video installment when we're looking at skin. And this particular video, I wanted to show you, you're going to be filling in a picture of the specific layers of the epidermis. So that outermost layer of skin is actually several layers thick. And so this diagram we're going to label is going to show those individual layers. So let's go ahead and get started here. First, though, let's look at the functions of the epidermis. First, protective barrier from water, air, infections, chemicals, ultraviolet radiation. Your skin is really your first means of defense because it's the thing that is exposed to the environment, and it is the thing that has to stop everything from the very beginning. It also provides a function of sensation. You can feel touch, pressure, temperature, heat, and all those different things. Also, temperature regulation with the release of sweat, and we've talked about this quite a bit already. Also, excreting waste through the sweat. You have a lot, it's mostly water, but there are some waste products in there that can be excreted through the body when you sweat. Absorbing chemicals and oxygen, and producing vitamin C. Those are the functions of the epidermal tissue. So I'm going to move myself over here. What I have is a model here that I talked about in the first video, showing you, and you can just see kind of in 3 dimensions what the skin looks like. So it's just a model of the skin. Okay, so let's look at this first layer of epidermis. Is called the stratum corneum. It is a layer of dead cells about 20 to 30 thick, and this would be this layer, this very topmost layer that you see on the model. And these cells are dead, and like it says, and it's filled with a protein called keratin, which you filled out in your notes. And the cells that have the keratin, this protein is very hard and it protects the deep layers, and you regularly shed these cells from your body. We're going to skip the next layer. And so this really big portion, it's actually the blue portion here on this model, is called the stratum spinosum. It's called the spiny layer because it has these filaments that are not completely keratin yet, so they call them pre-keratin, and it gives them kind of a weird spiky looking shape under the microscope, so that's why they named them the spiny layer. And then the bottom layer, which in this model is the brown color, is called the stratum basale. It's the base layer, so it's the bottom layer. That's what basal always means. It's constantly dividing and creating new cells. This is where your new cells are formed in your skin. And as it divides, it pushes the cells up here up. And as they travel up, they get more and more dead. So they're finally completely dead and filled with keratin by the time they get to the very outer superficial layer of your skin. Remember that mitosis is the name of cell division, and so these cells are undergoing mitosis quite rapidly so that you can get this hard layer with keratin to protect you. Now there's another cell that is found in this layer. It's not an actual epidermal tissue, but it is a separate cell found there. Let me move my screen a little bit. There we go. And it looks kind of like this dark blob. That is called a melanocyte. Remember, cyte means cell, and melano refers to the melanin, this other chemical that is a pigment. It says they're spider-shaped cells that produce melanin. This pigment absorbs ultraviolet radiation. So these are the cells that protect you, your epidermal tissue, from ultraviolet, the damaging part of ultraviolet radiation. So the more of these you have in your skin, the more protection you have from ultraviolet radiation. And these melanocytes are what give you your skin color. If you're outside a lot, your body will compensate by making more of these right away, and that's what a suntan is the increase of this melanin and melanocytes in your skin. Too much, though, and you can burn, so that's why it's not good to get too much sun. Now, sometimes, though, and the reason why we need them is because if ultraviolet radiation mutates a skin cell, they can become cancerous. And these are 3 different kinds of skin cancers that you can have: melanoma, basal cell carcinoma, or squamous cell carcinoma. These carcinomas are more serious than melanomas, so you definitely have to protect your skin. The best way to do that is not get too much sun, and also wear long sleeves and clothes that will protect you. And then, of course, there is sunscreen that can do that as well. It forms a barrier against the ultraviolet radiation getting deep inside the tissues. Okay, we're going to end this video, and in the 4th video, we'll look at the second diagram that you have in your digital notes.